Hey everybody, Todd here, and welcome to a Team Positive support video. So what I'm going to go over today are a few quick measures that you can do to begin to set up your team. The first step, a little bit of a brainstorming session for you. We want to look at who's out there, who could be part of your team. This could be a spouse, a friend, a child, medical staff, your therapist, somebody at work, really close friend. We want to take a quick look at that. The second step is that once we have this inventory, where do we put it? We want to be able to put it somewhere where we can get to it quickly. And the third step is going to be connection. How do we connect? How do we take advantage of this list we've come up with, this framework? And finally, how do we build a certain level of acceptance for the situation that we're in? An acceptance that these people actually want to be there and help you. All of these components come together to help you build your team positive. All right, so let's get started. So like I was saying, the first step is a brainstorming session. We want to look at your natural supports. This will be people like your partner, your spouse, a longtime friend, a childhood friend, a neighbor, somebody that you've been working with for a long time and have a deeper relationship with. These will be the people who actually want to support you, the people who are there going, hey, what can I do? Should I bring you a lasagna? Those are the people that will make up your team positive. Now, your team positive will also include people possibly from the community. Perhaps you belong to a church group or a bowling league, or perhaps people that you work with, people who want to support you, want to do something to help in this process. And it also includes the medical, the helping professionals. So your therapist, or if you don't have a therapist, that would be something to put on the list to go and get. Your doctor, your medical team, perhaps the specialist that you're working with. This is the list that you want. This is the brainstorming group. This is where you want to focus and start to realize who are my natural supports and how can they be there for me. Now, the next step then is we want to actually take this inventory of ideas, and there will be times when the emotions just overwhelm you. There'll be times when you feel completely buried by what's going on, what you're personally experiencing. So it becomes incredibly important at this time then to get yourself a notebook. And as you're brainstorming, write down who all these people are. What are their email addresses? What's their phone number? How do I get in contact with them? Where are they in the pyramid of support? Are they people who said, I will absolutely be there and I can do Tuesdays? So when they're available, are they volunteering to drive you to and from an appointment? Are they willing to come over and just spend time with you after you've gone to an appointment? You want to write all this information down so that you eliminate any of the barriers which might get in the way of you utilizing your system of support. It's really easy to feel like you're a burden on these people, and having this in a notebook, having it in front of you and what they're willing to do will help you to override that particular barrier. Also, it's a really good idea just to have a notebook in general that's not only of all your natural resources, but it's also a list of questions that come up that you need to remember to utilize in session when you're with your doctor or when you're with your clinician or when you're with your therapist. A lot of times you'll get there, you'll be nervous, you'll focus on one thing, but you'll forget the 3 or 4 other things that were also important. So we want to write everything down. Is there a question about the medication? Is there a question about the procedures? It should all go into your notebook. And when you're there, it wouldn't be a bad idea during the session, during the time that you're with your doctor, to keep writing everything that they say down. Get resources, write those down. After the appointment, write down what you can remember. Have your champion help you write down what you can remember. Have the support person there write down what was discussed, what needs to be done next. It may sound silly, but it's really hard sometimes to remember all these little details, also depending upon the severity of what it is you're dealing with. Now, the third step The third step is actually keeping connected. Be sure, now that you've written all these down, to do what you can to keep these connections. Reach out to them once in a while. Hey, I'm doing fine. My father actually used to do a great thing where he would actually send out an update. So if he went for a doctor's meeting, he would say, hey, here's what they said there. He had the notebook. He was able to write down the highlights and he was able to talk about it. And he kept talking about it. And some people would then reach out to him based upon how the structure of the team was, who said they would cover what, and they would reach back out to him. But we have to be able to utilize these connections. They're there, they want to help, they sometimes don't even know how to help. So we want to just keep that open channel. We do not want to become isolated. I've talked about 4 areas, 4 domains that we want to keep our eye on the prize, and we tend to focus heavily on health. Remember, they're love, work, play, and health. If you're not familiar with this concept, it's in the book, it's also a video, so be sure to check that one out. But we want to make sure that we are keeping all 4 of those areas in play. And this would be the love, the social, the connections. Make sure that we keep that in place. But it's really important that we stay the course, stay connected, even when you don't feel like it. The big question is are you willing, based upon what matters to you, what the values that you've discovered are about yourself that you have to have in your life? Is that enough to keep you motivated? Are you willing to just deal with the experience and make the call, ask for the help, ask for the support that you need? And then finally, the 4th step. Be willing to accept the help no matter what shape or form it takes. When we ask the universe for help, we've got to be ready to recognize when we're receiving an answer. We have to be willing to accept that this is the state, the place that I'm currently residing within right now, and I'm going to take advantage of these resources that are out in front of me, these people who actually care about what I'm going through and would like to help me transition through this as painlessly and as successfully as possible. So we want to make sure that we have a certain level and keep a certain level of gratitude and acceptance throughout the whole process, trying to keep the process as positive as possible. So there you have it. Those are the 4 steps that are crucial to really setting up and building your own team positive. Brainstorming, inventory, connecting, and then being grateful and accepting what you receive. I hope that this video has been helpful. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me through any of the channels. If you have any other questions regarding this particular component, this is expanded upon heavily in the book, Team Positive. So I hope that you have a copy of that. And if not, pick one up. Wishing you all the best. Here's to your own Team Positive.